Good morning, children. Welcome to yet another session, and I hope a very interesting one. So let's quickly get started. The topic we have taken today is an elementary school classroom in Islam, and the poet of this wonderful poem is Stephen Spender. It is the poem that is in your book Flamingo, English Core 301. So let's get quickly see the video, the PPT, and try to understand the essence of the poem. Right. So as you can see, this poem, the topic for today is an elementary school classroom in Islam. And the poem is composed by none other than but the very famous poet Stephen Spender. So let's quickly get started with the general analysis of this poem. So this is basically Spender's political voice. We all know he was really interested in politics. So his poem is also a reflection of that. The ideological positions are for this poem specifically are on government, economics, and education. The students in the classroom of this poem, they are generally underprivileged, they are malnourished, and the capitalistic government is supposed to supply equal opportunity for education, but the classroom in the slum offers little hope for change or progress of its lower class students. So that is the differentiation, children. You are privileged, you are studying in a private school, you have n number of facilities available with you, but the children who are studying in a slum area, so this poem is basically talking about those children. Now, we have to understand the thought or the idea, why is the poet writing a particular poem? So it is very clear that it was written during the civil rights movements in the USA, and it comments on race issues in American education, and it is against capitalism and social injustice. So these are the basic highlights that this poem is going to be talking about. Now, very important point, children, we have to understand that though I told you that this is, a foreign-based poem, but when you're going to be talking about the theme of the poem is universal. We in India also see, right? आपने देखा होगा कि slum children यहाँ पे भी हैं, उनके schools, आपके schools difference. You have to critically think and analyze the situation, children. तो यहाँ पे आपकी एक life skill भी cover होती है, that is critical thinking and analyzing. So this poem is universal. And it does not mention country, location, race, or citizenship, because we are telling it is universal. So Spender wanted to shed light on social injustice worldwide, और उसके लिए सबसे best medium है communication का. You communicate your feelings and thoughts through poem. Now, when I talk about the theme of the poem, so Stephen Spender highlights the plight of slum children by using vivid images. बहुत सारी images use करी है स्टीफन स्पेंडर ने, and apt words to picture a classroom in a slum, जहाँ पे वो सौर क्रीम की बात कर रहे हैं, dim light की बात कर रहे हैं, तो वो बता रहे हैं कि classroom की condition क्या है. Through this, he touches in a subtle manner the theme of social injustice and inequalities. So the first line in the poem जो हमारी start होती है, far far from dusty ways these children faces like ruthless weeds, hair torn around their parlor. तो first कितना beautiful start किया है poet ने, उसने start ही figure of speech से किया है, that is alliteration, consonant F repeat हो रहा है and repetition भी है. And when we are talking about the figure of speech in the second line, that is like rootless weed, that talks about simile, right? So this is very important to understand कि weed क्या होती है. Weed is an unwanted plant जिसकी requirement नहीं होती है. जब farmer एक crop grow करता है तो उस crop के साथ साथ बहुत unwanted plants हो जाते हैं. So look at the plight of these children. उनको poet, उनको society ने एक नाम दिया है rootless weeds. ये बच्चे हैं, इस society में हैं, इस society का part है, but unwanted है, किसी को इनकी जरूरत नहीं है. And because their hair is torn around their parlor, that shows about the undernourished or malnourished. आप जब स्कूल आते हैं, your parents do take care of you. They make sure आपके shoes अच्छे से polish है, your uniform is wonderfully ironed, your hair are properly done. But in बच्चों का, the hair torn around their parlor, nobody is taking care of sending the children properly to the school. So as I told you beforehand, we have the figure of speech simile over here, like rootless weed. ये डिफरेंस होता है सिमिली और मेटाफर में, दोनों कंपैरिजन के लिए यूज होते हैं, बट जब हम लाइक या एज यूज करते हैं कंपैरिजन के लिए तो वहां पे सिमिली यूज होता है. So read now a few lines on the slum children which are being described as the tall girl with her weighed down head. So the tall girl head is weighed down with sadness, disinterestedness, or shame, or a mixture of all over three. So she is tall, and when we talk about girls, girls have this emotional quotient जो girls का बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. So एक girl, she is a tall girl, but उसका जो सर झुका हुआ है, that is because of the mental pressure, the mental stress the girl has taken up. So this is again a very important thing to understand that why the girl's head is bowed down, why it is weighed down. Next, when we talk about few of the slum children are being described as, अब एक girl की बात करिए, उसका head weighed down है. Then we have a paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted unlucky hire of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lessons from a test. Now when we are talking about beautiful figure of speech जो poet ने use करी है, यहाँ पे metaphor use हुआ है. As I told you beforehand, this जो difference होता है simile और metaphor में, यहाँ पे compare किया है बच्चे को एक thin paper से, right? As thin as a paper, लेकिन as और like use नहीं किया. तो यहाँ पे figure of speech है metaphor. And boys की जो eyes हैं उनको compare किया है rat size. जैसे एक rat होता है, greedy होता है, वो इधर से उधर बस खाने के सामान ढूंढता है, कुछ ना कुछ तलाश करता रहता है. Similarly, this child is also looking here and there and is in search of something. So the poet is also talking about the stunted growth. Stunt का मतलब रुक जाना. कि growth रुक गई है again because of poor nourishment and hereditary diseases. जो उसके फादर को डिजीज था वही डिजीज उस बच्चे ने इनहेरिट करा है. जनरली आप क्या हायर करते हैं, आपने सुना होगा वारिस है, विल बनती है. तो वी इनहेरिट प्रॉपर्टी, वी इनहेरिट गुडविल, हम अच्छा नाम इनहेरिट करते हैं. लेकिन यहाँ पे जो बेचारे बच्चे हैं दे आर इनहेरिटिंग द डिजीजेस ऑफ देयर फादर. और डिजीज क्या है, एज यू कैन सी ट्विस्टेड बोन्स, उसको बोन्स का डिजीज हो चुका है बच्चे को. और ये एक ऑटो इम्यून डिजीज है जिसे आर्थराइटिस है. तो इट इज बीइंग कंपेयर्ड टू द सेम थिंग. So he is reciting his father's gnarled disease as the poet is talking about. And the boy is not reciting a lesson from his desk, but he recites his disease from his desk. This is important. He is carrying that burden of disease also. Now, when we are talking about the twisted bones, you know, this is an autoimmune disease. This is an inherited disease जो कभी भी ठीक नहीं हो सकता. And treatment is again very, very costly, which the parents are not able to take care for. Now, gnarled, the meaning of the word over here is twisted, bent, or naughty. So this is what the disease the child has inherited from. At the back of the gym class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in the tree room other than this. So right at the back of the badly lit classroom is an unnoticed young boy. He is probably too young for poverty to have stifled his childish imagination. His daydreams of squirrel's game and about the tree house absent mentally from the classroom. Now, ये बच्चा different है बाकी बच्चों से. बाकी बच्चे, लड़की है, the girl, the tall girl, वो परेशान है. There's a paper seeming boy who's undernourished, who's malnourished. But ये जो बच्चा है ये sweet है, ये young है. And the most important part is his eyes have not given up dreaming. उसकी आंखों में अब भी सपने जिंदा हैं. लेकिन वो क्या सपने देख रहा है, वो अपनी इस जो उसकी जगह है, उसका जो क्लासरूम है, उस क्लासरूम से बाहर जाने के सपने देख रहा है. बिकॉज क्लासरूम में इतना कुछ अट्रैक्टिव नहीं है, क्लासरूम में कुछ ऐसी चीज नहीं है जो उसको बांध के रखे. बिकॉज इट इज डिम लाइट. सो दिस डिम लाइट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट चिल्ड्रन, प्लीज मार्क इट. बिकॉज ये बताता है दैट देयर इज नो प्रॉपर वेंटिलेशन. यहाँ पे कोई वेंटिलेशन नहीं है, प्रॉपर लाइट की फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल नहीं है. तो इस वजह से बच्चे को ये क्लासरूम में बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. एंड द चाइल्ड इज लुकिंग आउट एंड ही वांट्स टू बी एज फ्री एज अ स्क्विरल. जैसे स्क्विरल ट्री पे चढ़ती उतरती है, वो उस तरह से अपना वहां पे जाकर गेम खेलना चाह रहा है. So when we are talking about on sour-cream walls, donations, Shakespeare head, cloudless at dawn, civilized doom riding all cities, belt flowery, Troilus valley, open-handed map awarding the world its world. Now this is, a very heart-wrenching line. ये पूरा जो stanza है, It is talking about contradictions, the contrast. क्लासरूम कैसा है? बहुत ही हेल्दी है, जैसे सॉर क्रीम होती है. द कलर ऑफ द सॉर क्रीम, जो मलाई अगर सड़ जाती है, बासी हो जाती है, जिसको अगर हम लोकल लैंग्वेज में बोले, so that has become yellowish in color. और ना सिर्फ कलर उसका खराब हो जाता है, बल्कि उसमें से स्मेल आती है, बहुत ही फिल्दी स्टिंजी स्मेल आती है. तो क्लासरूम्स की भी यही हालत है. क्लासरूम्स की जो वॉल का कलर है, द कलर हैज फेडेड ऑफ, एंड इवन देयर इज अ वेरी फिल्दी स्मेल, बिकॉज यहाँ पे कोई ध्यान देने वाला नहीं है, क्लासरूम्स में कोई ध्यान नहीं दे रहा. तो दिस इज अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. और क्लासरूम की ये हालत है, लेकिन क्लासरूम पे जो पेंटिंग्स लगी हुई है, यहाँ पे द पोएट इज ट्राइंग टू ड्रॉ द कॉन्ट्रास्ट. पोएट ये बता रहा है कि क्लासरूम की हालत बहुत खराब है, लेकिन दीवारों पे जो पेंटिंग्स लगी हुई हैं, उसमें एक उगते हुए सूरज के जैसे पेंटिंग लगी हुई है. डॉन, डॉन मीन्स अर्ली डे ब्रेक, बिल्कुल सुबह, सूरज की रोशनी आने से पहले का जो सुबह सूरज का सवेरा होता है. सो दैट टॉक्स अबाउट पॉजिटिविटी, दैट सिंबलाइजेस द न्यू बिगिनिंग. तो दीवार पे तो इतनी अच्छी पेंटिंग लगी हुई है, लेकिन रियल लाइफ में बच्चों के लिए कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं है. Civilized doom, civilization is again the symbol of education, development. वो education और development की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन बच्चे education और development से बहुत दूर हैं. Now, there's again a picture that is on the wall, and it is Belt, Flowery, Triolese Valley. Understand the contradiction, understand the contrast the poet is trying to draw. Classroom की condition बदबूदार है, कोई colorful चीज वहाँ है नहीं, और photograph कैसा लगा हुआ है उन फ्लावरी वैलीज का, which have beautiful color, vitality, और खुशबू भी फ्लावर्स में बहुत अच्छी होती है. So then there is again a contradiction of what the reality of the children is and what they are showing to the children. So the metaphor used over here is the figure of speech, sour cream wall. दीवारों को sour cream से compare किया गया है. So the walls are as awful as sour cream, and cream is, ruin हो चुकी है, खराब हो चुकी है. So in the block over there, as you can see, I have written down 5 main important points for you to understand. ये आप याद कर सकते हैं. This is for your reference to understand कि आपको क्लासरूम में क्या क्या दिखाया गया है. आपको क्लासरूम में शेक्सपियर का हेड दिखाया गया है, that talks about literature, that talks about mindfulness, intellect. Then clear sky at dawn, that talks about positive outlook, positive approach, a new beginning. Then there is a beautiful Triolese Valley that talks about beauty, color, fragrance. Then the dome of an ancient city building that talks about civilization, development of human race, and a world map. दुनिया की बात कर रहे हैं, जबकि बच्चों की दुनिया restricted है उस slum classroom में. And mind you children, all these things are only there because of the donation, right? जो donation मिलते हैं उसकी वजह से उन्होंने ये सारी चीजें अपने वहाँ पे लगा रखी हैं. Now what all do we find? जो हम पुरानी वाला स्लाइड था उसमें आपने देखा था. So the same thing is being continued over here. You have Shakespeare head, you have clear sky at dawn, a beautiful Triolese valley, the dome of an ancient building, and a world map. So what is this world map? The map gives world to the children. It tells the children कि आपकी जो classroom है दुनिया इससे बहुत आगे है. It is not the only thing that you need to restrict yourself up to. So the next line, the open-handed map awarding the world its worth. It is really important, please understand. It could refer to the map of the world hanging on the wall of the classroom that is showing everyone the world out there to explore. क्योंकि बाहर का world जो है वो बच्चों के लिए unknown है. उनके लिए वो classroom, वो slum उनकी दुनिया है. उनको नहीं पता that world is really, really beautiful when we talk about the world as such. तो लाइन 13 to 16 क्या डिपिक्ट करती है इस पोएम में? तो लाइन 13 to 16 डिपिक्ट करती है द वर्ल्ड ऑफ स्लम चिल्ड्रन, जो लिमिटेड वर्ल्ड है, द विंडोज ऑफ द क्लासरूम जो उनको बाहर की दुनिया दिखा रही है, एंड नॉट व्हाट द मैप इज प्रॉमिसिंग. मैप दिखा रहा है द वर्ल्ड इज फुल ऑफ ब्यूटीफुल ओशंस, वैलीज एंड एवरीथिंग, बट इन रियलिटी उन बच्चों की जो दुनिया है वो रिस्ट्रिक्ट हो गई है. नाउ फ्रॉम हियर द पोएट इज गोइंग टू बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द फ्यूचर ऑफ द चिल्ड्रन. This is the future. ये 3 important words हैं. We need to understand, we need to emphasize. So what are the 3 words? The future is foggy, the future is bleak, the future is dull. क्योंकि ना तो इन बच्चों को कोई proper education देने वाला है, ना इनकी problems समझने वाला है. So that is the problem because of which बच्चों का future अनसर्टेन है। अगर हम फॉग की बात करते हैं तो फॉग में हमें कुछ दिखता नहीं है, वी आर नॉट एबल टू सी व्हाट इज गोइंग टू कम नेक्स्ट। तो कौन सी फीलिंग डेवलप होती है? अनसर्टेनिटी की। So that is what the poet is telling, that the future of these children is uncertain. So their life, their world, so their kiska, the life of the children who are living in the slum area. So their life is confined within the narrow street of the slum, enclosed by the dull sky far away from rivers, seas that indicate adventure and learning. और किस चीज से दूर है? The third point, from the stars that stand for words that can empower their future. तो बच्चों को जो भी चीज दिखाई जा रही है इन रियल उनकी लाइफ से कोई लेना देना नहीं, because these children are not being given what they truly deserve or what every child should be deserving. So when we are talking about the lead sky, lead एक बहुत ही heavy metal होता है. So when we are talking about lead, it is also a symbol of pollution. So जिस जगह बच्चे रह रहे हैं, we need to understand their locality. So it is a slum area. So when we are talking about slum area, the slum area is very, very polluted. और उनका जो sky है, it is not clear, it is not beautiful. They're not able to see the blue sky. What they are able to see? A sky that is polluted. और इससे बहुत सारे diseases भी होते हैं. So this is the lead sky, as you can see in the next slide. This is the meaning of the lead sky. It means a dull sky or a dimly lit sky. यहाँ पे अगर हम कहेंगे, so we can also say that we are using the figure of speech metaphor. The sky is lead. It is not telling as weak as lead. बिना like और बिना as के sky को lead के साथ compare किया गया है, lead sky के साथ compare किया गया है. So we can say it is metaphor. So this symbolizes the bleak, dull life and future of some children. As I told you beforehand, future बच्चों का बहुत ही bleak है. Now coming to the next lines, that is lines 17 to 24. अभी हमने जब पहले stanza में पढ़ा, we understood the position of the children. There is a tall girl, she is not happy. Then there is a child, he is paper seeming, उसकी eyes bat की जैसी है. एक छोटा सा boy है that is sitting unnoticed in the class, though the child is sweet and innocent. Next stanza हमें बताता है what all things are there in the classroom. It is talking about Shakespeare's head. It is talking about beautiful Charlie's Valley. It is talking about the civilized doom that is depicted over there. Now lines 70 to 24 क्या बताती हैं? ये बताती हैं कि ये चीजें बच्चों के लिए अच्छी नहीं है. See children, when a teacher is teaching you, तो वो आपको किस चीज की एग्जाम्पल देती है? वो एग्जाम्पल्स देती हैं जो आप रिलेट कर सकते हैं अपनी डे टू डे लाइफ में. Examples that you are able to relate in your day to day life. You pick up those things. The teacher gives you those examples. जो आप रिलेट ही नहीं कर पाएंगे, उन एग्जाम्पल्स को देने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. तो यहाँ पे पोएट को ये फील होता है कि क्लास में शेक्सपियर का वो हेड है वो भी लगा दिया, ब्यूटीफुल वैलीज लगा दी, अर्ली मॉर्निंग के फोटोग्राफ्स लगा दिए, बट ये सारे बैड एग्जाम्पल हैं क्योंकि बच्चों ने ये चीजें कभी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं करी है. So in these lines specifically, the poet feels that the head of Shakespeare and the map are cruel temptations for these children living in cramped houses whose lives revolve around dullness and hopelessness, as they imagine and long for adventure, for a better future and for love. It's very, very important for us to understand. There's a very beautiful proverb, बच्चों अगर आपने सुना होगा. So the proverb says, nobody is a born criminal. There is an angel and there is a devil in all of us. हम सब में भगवान राम भी हैं, हम सब में भगवान रावण भी हैं. It is upon us what we feed, and what we feed depends upon हमारे circumstances कैसे हैं. आप किसी भी criminal को अगर लेकर चलेंगे, you will understand कि कोई भी पहले से criminal नहीं था, right? उसकी circumstances ऐसे थे, उसकी conditions ऐसी थी कि वो criminal हो गया. अब इन बच्चों को हम वो चीजें दिखा रहे हैं जो इनके हाथ में नहीं, पर इनकी इच्छा तो होगी वो चीजें लेने की, और जब हमें वो चीजें ना मिले जो हम लेना चाहते हैं, तो व्हाट इज द इजी वे आउट एज अ ह्यूमन नेचर? द ह्यूमन इज एक्चुअली टेम्प्टेड टू स्टील. तो पोएट यहाँ पे डर रहे हैं. पोएट ये कह रहे हैं कि इन सब चीजों की वजह से ऐसा ना हो कि बच्चे थीफ बनने की कोशिश करें या चीजें चुराने की कोशिश करें. The emaciated wasted bodies compared to slag, ये बहुत ही पैथेटिक कंडीशन है, हार्ट ब्रेकिंग कंडीशन है, जहाँ पे बच्चों की बॉडी को स्लैग हीप के साथ कंपेयर किया गया है. Seems to be wearing the cloths of skin covering their peeping bones and wearing spectacles of steel with cracked glass looking like bottle bits mended. कपड़े नहीं है बच्चों के पास पहनने के लिए. That shows their poor financial condition. So instead of clothes, what the children are wearing? They are wearing skin. और skin भी कैसी है? Through which the bones are peeping out. तो ये symbolize करता है that the children are very much undernourished. They don't have proper food to eat. They don't have proper clothing. And so this is a very, very pathetic situation for the children. The slum is their map, as big as the dome of the city buildings, and their life foggy and dim. The poet repeatedly uses the words fog to talk about the unclear, vague, and dull life of slum children. जिसमें आपको पहले बताया, the poet is really, really uncertain. और बार-बार ये चीज कहना, why does a poet use these things? वो poet की एक तरह से weapon होता है, एक armor होता है, अपनी बात को emphasize करने का, अपनी बात को importance देने का. So that is why the poet is using again and again repeatedly that the life or the future of the children is as foggy as a fog. It is uncertain. Now, अभी तक हमने पढ़ा कि क्या problems हैं, क्या दिक्कतें हैं, but again, that is the beauty of a poet कि वो सिर्फ dullness की बात नहीं करता, वो सिर्फ problems की बात नहीं करता. The poet also talks about hope. The poet talks about positivity. The poet talks about solutions to the problem. So the only hope of a life beyond the slums that enclose their lives like catacombs is some initiative. ये आपके last stanza की, I'm talking about the last stanza of the poem, and it's really important because it is going to be ending with a positive note. So it's some initiative by the governor, inspector of schools, or a visitor. So the poem ends with the poet fervently hoping that slum children will have access to better education and a better way of life. So this is the beauty of the poem, that it is ending in a very, very beautiful manner. And he uses the word break or break open. Now, what does the poet want to symbolize? See, when you keep a person in or so say for example a pet animal, आपने देखा होगा कि if you have dogs at your home, अगर आप उसको बहुत देर के लिए कैप्टिविटी में रखेंगे या बंद करके रखेंगे, उसको बाहर नहीं जाने देंगे और आप इमीडिएटली उसको फ्री कर देंगे, so what is going to happen? It is going to break all the barriers and run free. So the poet is also trying to say the same thing कि हमने इन बच्चों को इतने कंडीशन उसमें रखा है, which is like a cage, which is like a prison, which is not happy. हम इन बच्चों को फ्री छोड़ देना चाहिए. So they are going to break open every barrier to say that they have to break out from the miserable, hopeless life of the slum world so that they can wander beyond the slums and get down onto the green fields and golden sand, indicating the unlimited world. जो हमने मैप की बात करी है, right? हाउस मैप को बच्चों को अगर हमें बताना है, उसके लिए हमें बच्चों को फ्री करना पड़ेगा. Here the poet is making beautiful use of colors. वो green fields की बात कर रहा है, वो golden sand की बात कर रहा है. So this is, an incorporation of beautiful color imagination that the poet is trying to explore. And this is what the poet really means जब वो कह रहा है according the world its world. बच्चे भी हमारी दुनिया का हिस्सा हैं और इनको उनकी दुनिया देना is a responsibility. And who is going to be taking up the responsibility? Every single person should be taking up this responsibility. Now, these can become their teacher. Now, who can become their teacher? This golden sand can become their teacher. The sun can become their teacher. Beautiful green leaves can become their teacher. And like dogs lapping up food hungrily, they can learn directly from the open pages of nature. Now here the figure of speech is tongue को personification figure of speech use किया है, where they're talking about let the tongue run naked. That is, let the children read through everything. Because हमारी जितनी reading strong होगी बच्चों, उतना हमारी knowledge बढ़ेगी. So here also the poet is talking about the same thing. Read, keep on reading, learn everything, not only from books but also from nature. So here it is talking about open pages, that is leaves of nature, and the world which is sustained, whose language by the sun, standing for energy and life. As I told you, he is telling कि nature से भी सीखना है. Nature is again the biggest teacher anybody can have. There are a lot many things to learn from nature. एक पेड़ से भी बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. From the roots, we can learn how to remain grounded. It is very important कि हम अपनी roots ना छोड़ें. वो हम किससे सीख सकते हैं? पेड़ हमें समझाता है, उसकी जो roots हमें समझाती हैं. Leaves से सीखने को मिलता है. Leaves का क्या function होता है? They make food for the whole plant. But leaves सारा food अपने पास नहीं रख देती. It spreads to the rest of the part of the plant. So leaves से ये सीखने को मिलता है. Every single thing we are able to learn. और sun से ही सीखने को मिलता है that we need to learn about energy and vitality. So these can become a very beautiful example for all of us. So this is what is the important aspect of the poem. एक poem जो start हुई थी with a very negative tone that was talking about problems, वो poem end होती है with providing us with beautiful solutions that we all can look up to. So I hope today's lesson was easily understood. We have discussed figure of speech, we have discussed line by line explanation of the poem, and I hope you are going to be understanding. So the basic life skill we understand from this poem is empathy. We have a lot for us, but we should be empathetic to the children who are actually facing this life of a slum. So I hope you'll understand this, and your art integrated activity for this chapter would be try to draw a comic strip of the poem. Right, take up the characters, try to depict the whole poem in your comic strips. And I think so it is going to be beneficial for all of you. So see you in the next class, children. Wish you all the best. Keep safe during pandemic times. Take care of your family and take care of yourself. God bless.